This week on Cruise In.
I found it by mistake.
We hear that all the time, but this time it's true.
I had one of these, or I had a friend that had one of these.
I never had one, and I still think it's cool.
We loaded with oranges and hauled it back to Ohio.
You did what with that? Never heard of that before.
Nowadays you got new school and old school, so I got the devil with no school.
Yep, you sure do, and I have no words. Plus,
when it came to us, it was all screwed up.
The Buckeye guys straightened things out.
They all kind of thought I was a little nuts.
Nuts? More like visionary.
So I really enjoy looking at other people's cars.
Cruise In from Cars We Drove the Euclid Beach Car Show from Euclid, Ohio starts right now.
This week on Cruise In, we take a cruise down memory lane. Hi, I'm Will Burge, and we're in Euclid, Ohio with the cars we used to drive to Euclid Beach Park Show. There's great memories and, of course, great rides. So let's get started.
I'm sitting in front of my 1963 Corvair.
Corvair, it's gorgeous.
Yes, it's 63, so I'm not good with math. How old is it?
Let's see, 54.
Right.
Just a year older than you.
That's all.
Yeah. How long have you had this?
Approximately 5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
And where'd you find this at?
I found it by mistake.
Really?
Really. We was at a car show, and somebody come walking by that he seen a car up there. I said, "You didn't find any Corvairs?" He said, "Yes, I did." "Oh, so what kind?" "That kind." I said, "I didn't want that kind. I'm looking for a convertible like this." He wrote down the phone number. I gave the guy a call, went to his house out in North Olmsted, and that's the baby right there.
That's a pretty good mistake.
Yes. Yes.
That's the type of mistake I wish to happen to me in life. They don't happen very often.
No. So from there, about 5 years ago, I haven't done anything to it at all. It's the way it is.
What was it about the Corvair that drew you to? Why'd you want that?
I had one previously. I had a Greenbrier, which was similar to a station wagon, and I loved it. And on top of that, it's the only car in the United States made with a rear engine, air-cooled rear engine.
Yeah.
The United States made it. That's it. That's the only one. Not this one, but I mean that type.
Who's your buddy in the back?
That's Leo.
That's Leo?
That's Leo.
Are you able to drive in the carpool lane since he's in the car with you? Does that fly?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were looking for the Corvair. How long did you look for one before you found this?
Probably about 5, 6 years.
Yeah. So what's your plans with this?
Well, I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to give it to my daughter.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
93.
93.
Yeah.
You look great, and you are a veteran as well, correct?
That's right. World War II.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it, and thank you for bringing this beautiful ride out here and talking to us about it today.
Oh, I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Well,
even if I did come late to the show, I'm glad I did.
Hey, better late than never, right?
That's what they say.
And now you're famous.
That's what I'm looking for every day, to be famous.
Well, you made it.
I made it.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate
it. Thank you. Hey!
All right, Ken, what do you stand in front of here?
This is my 1967 Ford Fairlane Gt.
It's absolutely gorgeous. How long have you had it?
I've had it for 3 years. I bought it in July of 2014.
Any reason you bought it?
I bought it because it was so much like the 66 Comet that I had when I was in my 20s that that's what sold me on this car. It's the same body style.
Yeah, similar lines and all that.
Yes.
And so had you been looking for a car like that for a long time, or just decided one day I'm going to get one, or how did it happen?
Well, when I retired in May of 2014, I was in a position where I was able to buy a car, so I started looking, and I saw this one, and I saw another car down in Springfield, and because this one resembled my Comet that I had so much, it was pretty much a non-decision from there.
Did you know that someday you were going to end up getting a car like this, or was it something you thought about? Or
I've been thinking about it. I've always had a kind of a affection for older cars, and I used to go to car shows even before I had a car just to look at the cars, I really enjoy looking at other people's cars, and things fell into place where I was able to get one.
It's probably a lot more fun going to the car shows now when you're showing off yours, huh?
Oh, it sure is, because I always get somebody that never fails at just about every car show. Somebody will walk up to me and say, I had one of these, or I had a friend that had one of these. So I guess in their days, they were pretty common cars.
Now, when you get in it, does it kind of transport you back to your Comet when you're...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah?
Especially, I've got the tachometer that I put in it. For some reason or another, I never got rid of the tachometer that I had in my Comet, and I put it in here, so I've still got part of my Comet with me.
Oh, come on, you know you planned that out. You knew someday you're going to put it in something else, right?
I did kind of have an inclination that one day this tach would be in another car.
That's got to feel good.
It does.
Yeah. And you're out driving it around, you're getting looks, heads turning when you drive by?
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Heads turn as I go by. People give me high fives and stuff as I go by. It really gets a lot of attention.
How, this thing could probably move pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's got a 390 cubic inch engine, and it's got probably close to 400 horsepower.
Now you're a retired police officer, correct?
Yes.
Now you never speed in this thing, right?
I'll take the fifth there.
So how often do you get it out? You drive it all the time? Or?
Yeah, I drive it just about every weekend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of car shows nowadays that you really have to pick and choose which ones you go to, because there's several every weekend.
What's the furthest away you've drove it?
Drove it down to Talmadge, and last year I took it over to Franklin, Pennsylvania to the Apple Fest.
Well, I'm glad you drove it up here today. Thanks for showing it to us. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And how about the surfboard on top?
That's for surfing.
Yeah.
Of course it is. What else would it be?
From project to pride and joy, the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration can make your dreams come true. Our master body, paint, and mechanical technicians have over 100 years of experience. They do research, can communicate every detail of the restoration process, and their restorations win big-time awards. Buckeye Classic Car Restoration cars have been winning awards since 2001. Let the restoration specialists at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration turn your project into an award winner.
Welcome back to Cars We Drove to Euclid Beach Car Show from Euclid, Ohio on Cruise In.
All right, Charles, what are you sitting in front of?
I'm sitting in front of a 1961 Morgan.
How long have you had this?
I've had this about 10 years now.
About 10 years? How did you find this?
I found it down in Florida, and it needed a full restoration. So what we did is we loaded with oranges and hauled it back to Ohio.
You got to make it useful right out of the gate, right?
Oh, definitely.
And how much restoration did it need?
It needed a full ground-up restoration,
Really?
Meaning taking the body off, taking the chassis down, sandblasting everything, completely renovating every part of the car.
Wow.
It took us about 3 years.
Wow. And when you saw it, did you know that at some point it would look like this? Did you have the vision for it? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my third Morgan I've done over the last 25 years. So my brother and I were into Morgans very heavy. And this one here, we knew it could be a fun car once it was finished.
What is it about the Morgans that you like so much?
Well, it's a unique car. It's a family-owned business that's never stopped manufacturing. Morgan started in 1936, and they're still manufacturing today. But in 1957, I worked for a company in Cleveland, and the owner went back to England and brought back a 57 Morgan. That was the first time I saw a Morgan. I fell in love with it then. It took me until 1990 before I could get my first Morgan. And then with that, it's been a love affair for life.
Almost an addiction.
Yes.
You get it out often?
Usually every weekend.
Oh, wow.
Go to a car show. The best drive is out River Road on the east side of Cleveland to Chagrin Falls.
Yeah.
Right past Squire's Castle. It's a very nice drive.
Very familiar.
Yes.
Used to skip school and go out there a lot.
Oh boy. Yeah, we've been going there since 1957.
Did you used to hang out here at Euclid Beach Park?
Well, we went to St. Jerome's Church right here off Lakeshore Boulevard, and we came here all summer. So yeah, we spent a lot of happy times here at Euclid Beach.
Did you ever think you'd be sitting in front of a beautiful car like this at Euclid Beach Park someday?
Never. Never ever.
So what's your favorite part about this car? What is it that, when you take it out and people like, tell me about it, what's the first thing you go to?
The first thing you notice is the long hood. It's got a very low silhouette. And the long hood, the chrome wire wheels, it just turns heads. Everybody knows it's something unique, and they don't realize what it is until they see it's a Morgan. It's interesting to see also with Morgans, you don't see Morgans that often.
Yeah.
A lot of people own them, but they use them as possessions. They don't drive them, they don't enjoy them.
They sit in the garage.
That's
yeah.
right.
And how come you like to get this thing out? This is how you are with your cars? Or?
We're just out cruising.
Yeah.
I like to show off, my wife says.
Yeah.
So of course, when you have something beautiful, you want everybody to see it.
I gotta imagine she likes riding in this thing too, though.
She does.
Yeah.
She enjoys it.
That's a beautiful car. Thank you so much for bringing it out here today, and thanks for showing us.
Certainly, you're welcome.
All right, Don, what the heck are you standing next to here?
1940 Cadillac panel hearse.
You don't see a lot of these around.
You won't. The only one there is.
How did this happen? I guess that's the way to ask this. How did this happen?
A friend of mine used to own a funeral home and everything, so I liked hearses. Back in the 60s, the band had a hearse to put all their instruments and stuff in, and they were just kind of neat, you know. So I got this one, and I wanted to make it semi-hot rod, rat rod, and dependable.
And what did you do to this when you got it?
First thing we did, we cut the front end off and welded an 81 Olds Cutlass front end on it. So it's got power steering, power brakes, and modern things on the underneath it.
And this is all standard? I mean, is the paneling standard?
Yeah, the body is all original.
Oh, okay.
The panels, the hood, the sides, running boards, that's all 1940 Cadillac hearse.
And you said these were, Ohio made a lot of hearses, correct?
Ohio was the biggest hearse company in the world. And this was from A.J. Miller Hearse Company in Bell Fountain, Ohio.
And was this something you were looking for forever since you were a kid, or just happened to stumble across it?
I was looking for one, and I wanted one different. Instead of the glass in the side, it had the panels. So I jumped right on it.
All right, so then was this the vision you had, or has this kind of evolved over time? And
this was the main vision I had, because I went to a lot of swap meets and got a lot of these doodads to put on when I got one, you know.
So tell me about all the doodads. What do you got on here?
Well, nowadays you got new school and old school. So I got the Devil with no school, and the lakeside pipes, and well, even on the inside and everything, I have several things on the inside. You know,
the airbag.
Yeah, the airbag on the steering wheel and the dash.
And that's I'm sure safety regulated, correct?
Yes, right, correct. In West Virginia, because I'm from West Virginia. But it's got 8-way power seats in it, you know, and it's got a GPS speedometer. You don't hook it to the transmission, it's by satellite. So it does have some modern conveniences for it. But there's a whole lot of stuff on the inside that it makes people laugh and they smile and they enjoy it, and I like doing that.
And tell me about the back end of this bad boy. I mean,
you want me to go up there?
No, you can stay right there.
The back end has got a sign there for ladies first, and they got a party sign down there, Acme Party Supplies. Let's put the fun in your next event. And a drag racing spoiler up on the top is there, and I got a little guy with a rope on it, a clown, that has a rope to a parachute. And they're just jokes, you know, just something to have.
And the casket has a strong message.
Oh yeah, it's a pine casket. My friend's son made that for me.
I've never seen a power panel like that.
These here?
Yeah.
Oh, this one inside?
Yeah.
I gotta open it. That was my cousin in West Virginia wired this. I'll have to show that to you.
And how about the surfboard on top?
That's for surfing.
Yeah. Where'd you get it?
That's what it is.
Where'd you get it?
I got it at a swap meet about 5 or 10 years ago, thinking I'll put it on whatever hearse I get.
Yeah. So you knew sooner or later?
Oh yeah, it come about.
Yeah. And the vulture up front?
I got that just as a joke and everything for the kids and the humans, and that's what it's for.
And so how long have you had this done?
This year is the first time this summer it's been on the road. I've had it for about 15 years.
Oh wow. Are you excited that you finally got it out there?
Especially after we take it out and tow it home, take it out, tow it home. We don't have to tow it anymore. I shouldn't have said that.
And now it drives home, right?
Oh yeah, it drives. Power steering, power brakes, tilt wheel, airbags.
Well, I'm glad you drove it out here and brought it to us and showed us. It's great, man. Thank you so much.
I love the people enjoying it and laughing.
I'm sure you get big crowds everywhere you go.
Oh, do. I really do.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up,
by showing you the lasers and by refitting the body tub.
the Buckeye guys add body to frame next.
Welcome to this edition of Cruising with the Buckeye Guys. Today, as we have in the last couple episodes, we have this 1967 Bronco tub in front of us here. How, when it came to us, was all screwed up. It was a reproduction tub built by Rust Belt Broncos, and we've corrected it for the end user here by getting the frame straight, by showing you the lasers, and by refitting the body tub to the Bronco frame here. What we showed you in the previous episodes is that we did with the laser is all usable on any make model of car that's a full frame. Even unibody cars, you can see where you're at. Don, what do you think about that? Is it an easy way to show the end user how to do that?
Absolutely. Not only is it easy, it's the correct way. A lot of guys try and just go to town and bolt their body right to the frame, and then it throws all the gaps off. If you follow the process we've outlined in the last couple episodes, you should have no problem getting your full frame vehicle to fit.
Let's check out the gaps, and you can see how this fits. It's ready for body work right now. So the end user is going to get this back. They're going to do their own body work, and they should be very happy. In closing here at this 1967 Bronco body tub, we've shown you over the last couple episodes how to use the laser level and get it straight on your frame. We can do all that work for here at Buckeye Classic Car Restoration. The old man is not with us today because he's in Cuba researching parts there to find some for a project we're working on. But he'll be back in the next one, hopefully. And Don, what else do we want to add here with these Broncos, what we can do for any car?
Absolutely. Not only can we fit the body to the frame, we can do paint, mechanical, body work, electrical work, anything you need, we can handle it here at Buckeye.
That's 330-533-4757, located in beautiful Canfield, Ohio.
Coming up.
And this was the biggest small block you could buy.
And he put it to good use. Next. Now back to cars we drove to Euclid Beach Car Show from Euclid, Ohio on Cruise In.
All right, what are we standing in front of here?
A 1964 Chevrolet Biscayne wagon.
How long have you had this?
Since 1964.
Since 1964. You bought this brand new?
I bought it brand new from Jack Shaw Chevrolet on 185th Street.
Really? And we don't see a lot of these out.
Not too many.
Yeah? Have you done a restoration of this?
It's all original.
Really? How many miles are on it?
20,000.
20,000 miles. So did you know when you bought it, I'm keeping this forever and I'm gonna be at car shows with it someday?
No, I did not. It was a family car and a car that I was take out and have a little fun on the streets with.
Now people would look at this and say, okay, it's a station wagon. What do you mean you go out and have fun on the streets with this thing? What's so different about this station wagon?
Well, it has a 300 horse, 327.
So it can move a little bit.
It'll move a little bit.
What made you buy this car with that engine? What was it about that combination?
Well, I've always been a small block fan, and this was the biggest small block you could buy in 1964. I didn't care for the 409 motors, so I bought small block.
And what did people say when you told them I'm buying a station wagon? I'm getting that engine in it.
They all kind of thought I was a little nuts, crazy, different.
But here you are, all these years later, now everybody's probably walking up and asking you, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how do you keep a car like this in this kind of condition for that long? How does that work?
Well, you don't drive it in the winter and you garage it.
Yeah?
But the first 7, 8 years, it wasn't garaged. I lived in the projects and the car did sit outside, covered with snow. That was the insulation. I used to buy 4950 Chevys for 50 bucks, drive them all winter, come springtime, sell them for 50 bucks.
Go right back to this.
And then I would walk to work.
You walk to work in the winter?
I walked to work, yeah. I didn't drive the car to work very often.
How far was the walk?
2, 3 miles.
Uphill both ways?
No, flat land, thank God.
So what made you say, you know what, I don't want to drive this in the winter. I'm going to walk to work instead. What was the thought process there?
I'm a car guy. You can't do that to a car. It's like one of my children.
Yeah, I can tell,
Believe
man.
me.
Had it this long and it's that kind of condition. Have you had to do anything to it?
No, not really. Minor work. I've changed things through years and put it back all to original. Never threw anything away.
What type of reaction do you get when you tell people that you've had this since '64 and it's all original?
Well, some people don't believe it. They believe that, you know, it's been a restored car, but I show them a few things and they understand it is original.
Now you showed me.
I have the paperwork
Yeah.
to prove that I originally ordered the car.
And what I think is interesting is you have a letter. As
I have a
well.
letter from General Motors thanking me for buying a Chevrolet product.
You don't get that anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I didn't know you got it in 1964. I was quite surprised when I received the letter.
How long after you bought it did you receive it?
That I can't remember, maybe a month or so. I'd have to look at the date on the letter.
Did you think to yourself, I should probably keep this? Or is
No.
it just
I had
happened?
no intentions of keeping the car.
Really?
Yeah.
It just ended up that way. At what point in the, you know, the last, what is it, 50 years or whatever it is, at what point did you say, okay, I need to keep this. This is going to be something I'm going to keep forever?
Well, that's hard to say. It wasn't too many years after I purchased the car. I only paid $2,900 for the car. And a few years after that, the Blue Book was not worth a whole lot. And I just said, there's no sense of selling it. It's too nice of a car to get rid of. So I kept it.
I imagine it's worth a little bit more than $2,900 now.
I think so.
Well, we appreciate you bringing it out today. Thank you for
you.
keeping it in such great condition. Thank you for showing us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, what an unbelievable day out here at Euclid Beach Park. Tons of great rides and some great nostalgia as well. Plenty of thanks to go around, everybody who put on this unbelievable event, and to you for tuning in to Cruise In. I'm Will Burge saying so long until next time.